Hello folks, it's Phil at digitaldjtips.com with a very quick look at the Traktor Kontrol S8. We've been playing with this new controller for a weekend, and this is my view on it, and also, more importantly, my view on whether you want it. We all look at new tech and say, hey, great, you know, I really want one of those, but do we? Well, let's have a look and find out. Well, the first thing I want to show you about this is just how nice it is, how well made it is. It's decent size, proper metal plated top. It's one of the nicest built bits of DJ gear I've ever seen. It's way up there with everyone else's best efforts. So that's really good. It's definitely a step up for Native Instruments. Only the Z2 standalone mixer, I think, has approached this quality before with any of their gear. So that's really good to see. The second thing about it is how flexible it is as a unit. This mixer is 4 channels standalone. It's got filters on it, which are hardware as well as software. So you can unplug your computer and these filters are still going to work. That's awesome. You can plug in 4 decks, 4 CDJs, or 4 in total, but plug in decks or CDJs and switch them at the back, and 2 microphones, put it all through here. They can go through the software, so you can use it with timecode and so on, or use all the effects of Traktor on your analog vinyl if you want, or as I say, unplug your computer, just use it as it is, or you can use the 4 channels for playing tracks on in Traktor or for controlling remix decks. It's totally up to you. It's really powerful, great mixer. Crossfader curve, crossfader assign. This is removable, all serviceable. It's going to last forever. That's awesome. Let's look at the decks though, because the decks are very different. To start with, no jog wheels, and they've got screens. So let's talk about those things. The screens are there to help you not look at your big computer, and mine's over there. And by and large, they do a really good job of it. You've got the waveform that we're used to in Traktor here. You've got the waveform that shows you where you are on the track and all your cue points and so on going on here. And you don't look up at the main screen. There's a phase meter down here, so you can see that your beats are all in phase. That all works awesome. That's really nice. We like the fact that it's got your tempo and key going on here. You've got a zoom as well to zoom in and out of your waveform. This is all good. When you touch the effects area, you get this effects drop down that lets you alter the effects on the fly, so you don't have to ever look up at your main screen. You can even change the effects here as well really easily. Again, that's awesome. What we didn't like so much in this version, which we're sure they're going to correct at some point, is in the browser you're pretty limited. You're limited in what it shows you. I can't see my genre or my comments here, for instance. You can sort, which is nice. I can sort by title, key, BPM and so on, but that's about it. We'd like to see that tidied up a bit. And also there's only one browser. So if I go over to this browser, that one turns off and I carry on where I left off there, which is a limitation of Traktor 2.7, something that surely they're going to fix later on. So let me show you the touch strips that replace jog wheels. So the touch strips let you scroll through the track. Sounds just like a normal jog wheel would when you're doing that. When you're playing, they nudge, slowing down and speeding up. There's no scratch function at all when you're playing. And when you hold shift, you can move very quickly through the track to find the bit that you want to play. Actually, it's really nice. The only thing I don't like about it is the way you select BPM. Because if you're synced up, the BPM is a master BPM in the middle, everything's synced, everything's beat gridded and fine. But if you're DJing with stuff that you're not using the sync button on, it's a bit harder to nudge to something else and adjust the BPM, because you have to press BPM there. This is adjusting by hundredths of a BPM, so it's hardly moving at all. It takes ages to move 1 BPM. So you then have to press shift to make the big changes. I just think it's a bit convoluted. I want to see it done a bit better than that for us guys who do use music that can't be beat gridded. But there you go. That's kind of a very, very, very quick overview of the screens. They work really nicely. Let me show you the remix sets and how remix sets, remix decks and so on work in this, because this is different from the Traktor Kontrol F1, which has 16 buttons to control the remix slots. This has only got 8, but actually I think you get more than you lose here. So selecting a remix deck brings up information here about our remix slot and what's in our remix slots right here on the screen in front of you when you're doing stuff with them. So you've got your volume controls, you've got your triggers, and you've got your this section here which lets you alter stuff about them like filters. You can send to effects units, you can alter the pitch, and again it pops up. So actually this is really intuitive, and scrolling through, because obviously there's fewer buttons here than there would be on an F1, so you need to scroll more. Scrolling through is really easy. You just go up and down like this, and the colors change here and here. it's intuitive and it just works. It's really nice. And the fact that you can then capture, using this capture button here, anything on the track decks or on the loop recorder, again, really easily, actually means that you can build up your own remix sets on the fly, and it's fun. Trust me, it's fun. They're good. They're well implemented, and they're a step up, I think, not a step back from the standalone Traktor Kontrol F1, mainly because of the screen. So that's that side of it. Let's have a quick look at how these pads work kind of normally when we're just playing a track. So we've got hot cues. The first one defaults to the beginning of the track for you, which is quite useful. But then you have the hot cue buttons here that just set a normal cue. If you set a loop, there's a loop encoder here. There's just a loop. It'll record that loop there, and then it'll jump back to it when I press that button and loop. So really the cues are more like cues and loops all in one, and you get 8 of them. They're really nice. The loop function itself has got kind of a loop roll at the top, you'll recognise. But also it's got beat jump at the bottom, forward and back a beat and forward and back the way your loop is currently set on this loop encoder. This loop encoder goes up to 32 beats. These 4 here are assignable in software, and if you use it with the flux mode, you know, it's really nice, it's musical, it's good. Flux mode, by the way, is the same as slip mode. Just lets stuff go on underneath, and then you can control it here if you're coming to Traktor from other software. So that works well. Freeze, I'm not going to demonstrate because I can never get this to sound anything like decent. This is where you have your track divided up into 8 sections, and these buttons play those sections. There's a couple of variations on that. And a really nice bit is that the remix button will take the currently selected slots on the remix set and let you play those from within the track view mode. So if we combine it with this mode here to actually see a bit of it, this is a split screen mode, you can actually do quite a good job of controlling a lot on this one deck across both of its software decks. And the software decks are switchable on each side from A and B, which are blue, to C and D, which are the white ones here, which again is intuitive. So there's a very quick look at some of the functions. I guess the real question you're asking yourself though is that for me? You know, it looks cool, but it's quite expensive. Is it for me? Well, it is quite expensive. When I saw the price of it, I balked a bit, but then thinking about it, you're getting a full standalone mixer, a good one at that, with hardware filters. You're getting DVS, so this works as a Traktor digital vinyl system. You're getting these 2 really innovative decks here, which I think in a very short time, some of the little things I don't like about them, the library and the difficulty with altering the BPM, I think, or at least I hope, are going to get sorted out as the software develops and matures. Everyone's waiting for Traktor 3. I think that's going to happen. So these decks are really pretty good, and you're getting all that for the price of less than a mid-range Pioneer CDJ. So actually it is pretty good value, and you're getting a full version of the software, of course. So the next question is, you know, am I serious enough about this? Well, if you're going to be doing this in a few years' time, then it becomes an investment, doesn't it? It's not just like blowing loads of money on something that you're hardly going to use. So I think you've got to be serious about it. You've got to enjoy Traktor. You've got to be a Traktor fan, because this is the future of Traktor. You know, it doesn't work with anything else. It does have a MIDI mode, so you can map it to other stuff, but it's designed and tied in very tightly with Traktor. So you have to be into Traktor, and I think you have to be an electronic music fan and into the idea of kind of live remixing, DJ producer stuff, pushing the boundary a bit. It's not really for you if you just like to stand there, play records, do a bit of manual beat matching, move around the genres, as in like play lots of disco and funk, and maybe you play pop music and stuff which is not easily beat griddable. It does rely on beat grids, certainly in its current incarnation. So if that's you, I'd think again about this, or at least think about using it with digital vinyl or something else to give you that kind of like tactile feel back for that kind of music. But otherwise, we've fallen in love with it. We think it's a great controller. It's the potential of it that's most exciting. You know, it's the beginning of something for Native Instruments. It's finally got all the stuff they've imagined for Traktor into one really nice unit. You know, and it's great. So that's the Traktor Kontrol S8. I hope I've helped you if you're thinking about whether it's for you or not. But if not, and if you need to know more, please go and look at the full review, which is over on digitaldjtips.com. Thanks for watching.